High heat, not enough water, a very dangerous combination that stopped the Chicago Marathon in its tracks, but not before dozens of runners were sent to the hospital, and that has many saying race officials stumbled in the way they handled the crisis. Let's go back to Carol Costello. She's watching this story for us. So what are they saying, the race officials, in their own defense?
Oh, well, Wolf, you could say they are on the defensive today, insisting they were prepared with 1.8 million drinks on hand for some 40,000 runners, insisting the weather that turned freakishly hot was really to blame.
Runner down! Runner down!
26.2 miles, sweltering heat, 35,000 plus people, and not enough water. A dangerous combination that some say should have ended the Chicago Marathon before it began. So many collapsed or suffered cramps from dehydration. The Chicago Fire Department told us it set a record for a public event. 312 911 calls in 4 hours. Arzu Karamova, a runner, survived the heat, but is still hot.
Amazing to me that there wasn't enough medical assistance on the roads, and there was no ice. Like, they knew it's going to be hot. They should have had ice. Like, the individual people were handing out ices and giving water to people. I think it wasn't well organized.
Organizers deny it.
We made some contingency plans 2 days earlier. We were shipping water to the later stages of the race. I feel confident that we had fluids at those locations.
But as the race wore on and the heat index rose into the 90s, many runners say it was clear the fastest runners used up the extra water, taking 4 and 5 cups at a time, drinking some, dousing themselves with the rest, and leaving nothing for those behind them. Finally, 3.5 hours into the marathon, organizers canceled the race.
The race is officially ended, and we ask that you stop running.
Not easy, with tens of thousands of runners spread over a 26.2-mile course, and that may have been the organizers' biggest problem, the sheer number of runners. 35,000 plus, many of them potentially in need at the same time. Amy Rushnow from Chicago Athlete Magazine.
Even if you got enough water, there's the question of, can you get enough volunteers to hand out all that water? And on such short notice, can you get enough medical personnel there? And the city has to keep running. Can you get people around where they need to be?
Rushnow says it may be time to think of limiting the number of runners allowed to participate in the marathon to a more manageable number. That's tough to do. I want to mention this. One man did die at mile 18, but an autopsy revealed he died from a heart ailment, not the heat. Still, so many collapsed from the heat. Others are calling for a limit on who should run marathons. The American Runners Association telling me too many people unfit to run are allowed to race just to see if they can do it. If they are eliminated, that would bring down the number of marathoners as well. Wolf?
All right, Carol, thanks very much. Through some online forums, video sharing sites, and CNN's iReport, the runners from the Chicago Marathon are posting their experiences online. Let's go to our internet reporter, Abby Tatton. Abby, what are they saying?
Wolf, by far the biggest thing that we've seen online from runners posting is them saying, where was the water? They're posting on online forums, sharing their experiences, and some of them had their video cameras with them. Take a listen. That was one of the early stations that had run out of the water. That was posted on YouTube by Wendy Schulich. She said the only reason she didn't drop out of the race early on is that a spectator handed over their personal water bottle to her. And that was captured online, what the crowds were doing to help. This was sent into CNN's iReport. The crowds say Michelle Gantner, who sent this in, was spraying people who didn't have water, buying water for some of the people racing. You can see from her pictures that there was water at certain aid stations. The organizers have said at no point did we not have fluids, but some of these stories online tell of a whole different race. Wolf?
Thank you, Abby, for that. Abby Tatton, our internet reporter.